Mabuhay from Manila. Welcome to our Facebook Live session. We are celebrating Pride Month here in Accenture in the Philippines. I'm Francis Martinez and I am your host for today. And I'm joined by four fantastic people who are advancing the LGBT agenda in Accenture and in the world. So our theme for today is Be Yourself, Make a Difference. And these four people will talk about what exactly that means. So say hi to everyone, guys.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
All right, so let's get started. My first question is for JT. JT is one of our operations managers, and she is also our flag network lead in the Philippines. So JT, tell us how important it is to have a strong flag network in creating an inclusive work environment.
Right. So it's important for a company to have an LGBT network group because we can leverage on that community to drive inclusion and diversity in the Philippines.
Right.
As flag lead, I've seen the struggles and the challenges in encouraging people to be part of the flag community because the impression is that flag or the flag community is only for LGBT employees.
Right.
And I never get tired of telling this story. I was once introduced as the lead for Federation of Lesbians and Gays, which is not. I mean, the F in flag doesn't stand for federation. It stands for friends. So it's if you believe in authenticity
I see.
and if you believe that people perform better when they can be themselves, then you can always join this community.
So everyone is welcome.
Yeah, everyone is welcome. And the truth of the matter is we've gone a long way. In fact, we've extracted the data yesterday and we are now at 670 members.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a good mix because 40% of those are straight allies. So,
Nice.
but for a 45,000 employee company, we have a long way to go. So I'm shouting out to all, Accenture employees in the Philippines to please sign up and join our drive for inclusion and diversity.
So everyone sign up now.
Right.
Well, thanks for sharing that
Thank
story, JT, and thanks for the amazing work that you're doing being the flag network lead.
Thank you.
So my next question is for you, Lester. Lester is one of our mobilization specialists in our technology business. So Lester, how does Accenture help build a welcoming environment for the LGBT community?
Well, Francis, in my own experience, Accenture has actually successfully provided a safe place to work for everyone, including the LGBT community. Every day when I come to work, I can bring my authentic self without that fear of being discriminated and knowing that Accenture has my back through our policy with regards to inclusion and diversity. I am grateful that Accenture is ahead when it comes to giving options and benefits for people who are in the same-sex relationship like myself.
Oh, that makes me real proud to be part of Accenture.
Yes.
So I learned something really, really interesting about you. You're also part of the Love Yourself movement, which raises awareness about HIV. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, Francis, it is very good to know that Accenture is very supportive of that. I can work in Accenture and at the same time do volunteer work for Love Yourself, which is a non-government organization here in the Philippines that provides awareness and treatment for HIV and AIDS. And we are working very hard in order for us to raise more awareness within our community.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks so much, Lester.
Welcome.
So my next question is for Thitho, who is a technology team lead, and you're also the former transgender lead of our LGBT network in Accenture.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So can you tell us about Accenture's stand on gender authenticity and how it has helped you in your professional and personal journey?
Okay. Accenture stands on authenticity. Makes me feel secure that my rights as an employee or as a person is protected, and how it helps me based on my personal and professional self is that it makes me more confident and be true to myself, because being true to yourself is that you can develop a good relationship with your colleagues. And then as a former transgender lead here in the Philippines, we collaborated with Accenture transgender leads worldwide, and then we implemented here in the Philippines LGBT-friendly policies such as all gender restrooms, gender neutral dress code policies, and currently we are working on letting the transgender women to use the, the restrooms based on their gender preferences. And then I was also the first transgender woman to be on global career program of this Accenture that was assigned onshore, particularly in Germany. So I was working directly with the client side, and I already built myself confidence and good relationship with the client and Accenture partners as well.
Well, that's great to hear. We all know about the struggles our transgender, you know, people encounter. So it's great to hear that Accenture is really moving the needle on this. On to our next panelist, Agnes. Agnes, you are one of our senior managers, and you're also our inclusion and diversity executive sponsor. My question is, what has made you decide to become an ally, and how important is it for an organization like Accenture to have a strong LGBT ally network?
All right. So I have been exposed to a very diversified culture and community, and being one myself as well, right? I believe that we all need a support system.
Right.
Right? Especially like just what you mentioned, the transgender, they have their own challenges, just what JD mentioned a while ago. We need to create awareness, not just within the LGBT community, but with everyone else, right? So we're in the Philippines, we are faced with an entirely different culture, right? We are very westernized already. The thing is, different countries, different cultures, and the level of maturity and acceptance is not the same. Right? So by driving awareness, not just within Accenture itself or within the Philippines, right? We are hoping that we will be able to provide a very supportive system to our LGBT community in terms of propelling forward their aspirations, not just for their career, but for their personal aspirations as well.
Well, that's very inspiring, Agnes. And I hope that more people will be inspired to sign up as an ally, okay, given the story that you've shared. So we actually have a question from our virtual audience. So the first one is, in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing the LGBT community today?
All right, so let me take this one.
Sure,
you know, being a lead, we've experienced some LGBT employees who had put forward their concerns and their challenges, right? It's across Accenture Philippines. You know, the one thing I think that is a challenge for the LGBT community is that some people in our company still has that unconscious bias.
Right.
Right. That unconscious bias, and that's what we're trying to address when we're conducting the sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. You know, it's amazing to see, and I think you've experienced that. It's amazing to see people, you know, have that light bulb moment when they realize that they have unconscious bias, and you know they don't mean to do that, and that's, you know, that's something that is unconscious. But for us to be able to address that, and that's something that, you know, helps our LGBT community.
That's very insightful.
Right.
Let's you know, take another question. How important is it to be able to build the next generation of LGBT and ally leaders? And how can private organizations such as Accenture promote this?
So I'll take that one, right? So like I've mentioned a while ago, it's very important that we have a support system. So in Accenture Philippines, we have done that, and we continue to do it also by partnering with external organizations like what Lester mentioned a while ago. So other than the awareness, we really need to build that consciousness of that, being conscious of behaving around everyone else, right? They are not different. They're just one of us. And in terms of decreasing the discrimination as well as creating equal opportunities.
Right. Yes, well, it's very important to have senior leadership support, definitely. So that's all the time that we have for today. I hope that you all learned something from today's session. On behalf of Accenture, we thank everyone for joining us, and we also want to thank our guests. So say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Francis signing off.